Bear is in town again. Another star has come out of Minnesota, and this time it's Santa Bear. Are you familiar? Last year Santa Bear was at Dayton's and in department stores around the Midwest and sold out in 3 weeks. 400,000 of those little bears went out the door. Well, he is now starring in his own show downtown Dayton's in Minneapolis in the auditorium this year, and our field host Gary Lumpkin went down to see what the Santa Bear show is all about. Gary?
Well, hi there, that's right. I am at Dayton's downtown store at their auditorium on the 8th floor, where behind me is the exit to this year's Christmas exhibit. Each year they put on a special exhibit for the whole family that tells a Christmas-related story. And this year the story deals with this fella. He's called Santa Bear, and the story is called Santa Bear's First Christmas. Now, the way it works, you may recall last year they had the Velveteen Rabbit, and they've had great Christmas traditions in the past. You kind of walk through a series of corridors and a maze-like thing and follow along, and the storyboards tell you the story. This year it is this fella. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. Now, I should also point out that behind me there, through that series of curtains, is Santa himself is there to talk to the youngsters. Very appropriate after coming down here and seeing Santa Bear's First Christmas. The little ones in the families want to talk about their Christmas as well. But behind me, it's just a little bit of a, I think, impressive display. You can see all of those little bears up there. Well, of course, they're for sale, but the interesting story, I think, from a consumer standpoint, is that they developed this character last year for last year's Christmas season, and it was so popular they sold out all of their merchandise before Thanksgiving. So this year they're coming back a little bit bigger and better than ever, and they've got a great story. Once again, it's called Santa Bear's First Christmas. We're going to take you through a tour of that and maybe talk to some little people on the way a little bit later in the show.
Santa Bear has made himself a star around the Twin Cities, and this year he is the star of the auditorium show at Dayton's, downtown Minneapolis. Our field host Gary Lumpkin is there to tell us all about it. Gary?
Well, hi there, that's right. We are back again here at Dayton's in downtown Minneapolis at their 8th floor auditorium, where each year they have a very special Christmas tradition we talked about, where they tell a children's story, but it's actually something that's, I think, appropriate for folks of all ages. And this year it's the story of Santa Bear's First Christmas. Now, the way it works is, come on in here, you walk through a kind of a story corridor. Now, this one starts off where you see a scene like this. You see a number of scenes, and the first scene in this story shows you the little bear's family. That's the whole family of characters that the story revolves around, and on the piggyback there is the little white bear that's the real central character in this tale. Now, the story begins also where you can see the family and you read about what's happening in the story on these storyboards right here. This one is saying that the family was out for a walk, doing some fishing, and the ice began to break apart, and the little bear was separated from his family. And what happened was, we're getting a good crowd of folks here, but that's okay. Go ahead there, partner. What happens was the little bear ended up on an ice floe all by himself. Now, you notice here the animation that exists here in the stories, which in each of these scenes, a little bit of animation which helps to make it, well, much more lifelike and make it a lot more fun to look at. But anyway, meanwhile, our little bear is all of a sudden separated from his family and adrift in the ocean. So much so that he is here in the rocky seas. You can see he's barely hanging on. He's having a heck of a time. The sea is moving. The little bear is in big trouble. He's definitely in big trouble. Have you seen this? Hi, have you seen the bear in trouble here?
No.
You haven't seen it yet? Oh, well, you've been walking through. Yeah, look there. See, there's the bear. He is separated from his family. And what's going to happen to him? Good things or bad things?
Bad things.
Bad things? You might be right, yeah. Probably are some bad things. I mean, what would a story be without bad things happening? We'll move on ahead here. We'll just get in front of the folks here. Now, what does happen is actually a good thing happens next, because the little bear meets up with a little girl. Somehow his ice floe drifts to shore, and he falls asleep, and he's starting to wake up there, and you can see a little girl. We can get around here, and we can start to see a little bit of her face. Her name is Marie. And this little girl finds the bear, and they become friends. So at that point, things are starting to pick up, except, of course, he's separated from his family. Well, we'll skip on ahead here just a little bit. We can see here a family here. This is the way it works. The families read the story to their youngsters as they go along, and the kids really pay close attention to what's happening in the scene. In this particular scene, now the little girl and the little bear are walking off through the woods, heading for her house. Okay, I'm going to talk to this little fella right here. Hi there. What's your name? I'm going to spin you around. What's your name?
Say Devin.
Yeah, okay. You like the bear so far? Do you like that bear? Where's the bear? Where's the bear?
Right there.
Right there, you're right. There's the bear. Thank you very much.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, okay. All right. So you kind of continue along and you learn more about the story. Now I'll give you one other idea of what happens here. Is that things definitely take a turn for the better right at this point, because they end up with the little girl feeding the bear and introducing him to her grandfather, who the little girl and the grandfather live alone and in the forest. And life at this point again seems to be going pretty good for the little bear. We'll get one more reaction here. Hi. What's happening to the little bear so far? Have you seen the little bear and the little girl?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to be okay living with that little girl?
Yes.
But what about his family? Does he miss his family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Do you think maybe he might ever get back to find his family?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because we haven't figured it out yet, huh? Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, we don't know if he'll ever get back. And also, here's another question. At this point, he's just the little bear that was lost. Now, we said it was Santa Bear's first Christmas, so how does he get the name Santa Bear anyway? Well, those are just some of the mysteries that have yet to be uncovered at this part of the story. How does he get his name? And is life just going to be rosy with him and the little girl and her family? Is he never going to get home? Will anything bad happen? Well, you'll just have to come down here, bring the whole family, and tour Santa Bear's First Christmas for yourself and get the answer to all those questions. It's a fun exhibit, I promise you.